Hey, is this working? I'm doing something a bit different, so I can't tell if I'm on yet. I think I'm going. Hi, everyone. What's up? I'm very tired. I got like 3 hours of sleep last night. What's going on? I'm very enjoying this coffee. How are you all doing? Let me just adjust some things here. Adjusting. Adjusting. What's going on? God damn it. Stop it, Elon. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm doing something kind of new here. So, I am currently streaming the Weekly Sip on YouTube, on Twitter, on my Twitch channel, and on my Kick channel. So, wherever you want to watch it, just go wherever you like. Okay? Completely fine with me. Yeah. The Minecraft server is down. I'll talk about that in a minute, okay? Here. I'll show you all of it in a second. Botrix isn't picking up YouTube again. Come on, Botrix. You fuck. For some reason, it's not picking up my Botrix. I'm gonna Okay. Anyway, where's my fire support joke? Thanks for the $2. Just got the mold in my house removed. Didn't realize I was retarded for months until today when I could think much more clearly. If you guys feel mentally sluggish, check for mold. I think I just need more sleep. But I will. Okay, let's see if I can show you. Here we go. So, here's the YouTube. Alright. YouTube Weekly Sip. You can watch it here if you like. You can also watch it on Twitter. I think I'm gonna, because the SFO account is deboosted, I'm gonna use it as like a VOD archive. So I'm gonna stream everything I do to the Twitter account if you want to watch it on Twitter for some reason. I'm also streaming it on Twitch and on Kick. Now, Kick, I would actually really like it if you guys went to my Kick account and followed it. Okay? I have 54 followers. I need 75 followers to get monetized on Kick. I still have it set to Tears of the Kingdom. What the hell? Should be just chatting. How does this work? You know what? I'll do it off screen. But yeah. Please consider following me on Kick especially, because that is the next big thing. God damn it. How do I fucking... God damn it. I'm gonna fucking And yes, if Galaxy's there, I will put together something all about Oh, and there's all the YouTube chatters. Hey YouTubers. What's going on? Just wait, fellas. Just wait. I finally found it. Just chatting. Basically, I'm going to be doing more multi-streaming more often. So please consider following on Kick and getting me to 75 followers, all right? Please do so. So yeah. Pick your platform of choice, buddies. Just like how I do the SFO Arcade, I stream everywhere. I'm going to start streaming Weekly Sip everywhere. Hope that's okay. So how have you all been? What's going on? Fill me in on your details about your life. While I quickly fix... Hold on. Here we go. I'm going to try to quickly fix my chat room here. While I quickly fix this. Don't cross the streams! Yeah. I'm going to reset the chat, so just fill the chat up with stuff. Go, go, go. Fill it up. Any platform, any location. Have I worked out this week? Yes, I have. Yeah. $100 from Moist Leaf. Thank you very much, dude. As always, DM me on Discord. I'll get you into the D Club for life. In high school, I had a program where they taught us applied, not advanced math to us kids who were struggling with math. And when I took my CAF aptitude test, I did really good at math. Now I'm hearing they're taking that program away. Where my little bro? Yeah, they keep fucking with high schools, dude. Canada high schools suck. I hated going through them. But thank you very much. Patrick Sloan, $5. Hey, Dev, been a while since I caught one of your sips on time. Were you ever big into Elder Scrolls? Not really, unfortunately. I tried to get into it, but I wasn't, like, super big into it. Unfortunately. Oh, but thank you, though, for the $5. Kick.com. Kick.com is basically a Twitch replacement. It feels like old school fun Twitch. Like before Twitch went woke, like, 2012, 2014. It feels like old fun Twitch, like Wild West Twitch. It feels like Twitch again. So and also the fact that Kick is run by former big Twitch streamers who are really invested and keep making the place not just be like some fucking sellout haven the way that DLive was. So I'm hoping that Kick works out. So yeah, please consider following me on Kick. Make a Kick account. Get over there. I pinned it in the YouTube chat because I want to get monetized. I want to get to 75 followers. $2 from C. Thomas Penis. Thanks very much. $5 from BB11. Ever heard of making a video on Darkside Phil? I don't know. I don't know if I'm the right guy for that. That's a lot of deep lore. There's it's almost like Chris Chan's levels of lore. You know what I mean? Oh man, coffee's good. I'm just barely getting it together here, guys. I'm sorry. Yep, I put the YouTube chat and the Kick chat and the Twitch chat all on screen. So, how many of you guys saw the Archcast yesterday, and what'd you think of it? Yeah, not K-I-K, it's K-I-C-K. Yeah, Turkey Tom. Turkey Tom is great, dude. Turkey Tom's great, Gundam's great, they're both awesome. Yeah, It's a Gundam is fucking amazing. I love his stuff. $2 make a video with Stephen Colbert. Honestly, considering how Super Mega is currently kicking off, it's I thought it would be like a one and done flash in the pan, but it just keeps going. I might do a Super Mega video. Wait, not Tubcast. It wasn't Arch. Did I say Tubcast or did I mean Archcast? Fuck. Yeah. Okay. So Arch is a friend of mine. He's a YouTuber as well, and he does a weekly podcast on Saturdays. And I'm going to be on it more often going forward. Okay. So it still says I'm shooting. Okay, I'll fix it. Thank you. I'm going to be on the Archcast more often going forward. And some of Arch's fans are not happy about it because I'm not an ideological rightoid, and his audience is much more right wing than me. I think his audience is much more right wing than he is. All right. And so, where the fuck do I go for this? And so basically, there was a situation. No, it says, oh, this. Okay. Okay, thanks, man. I fixed it. So, there was basically a situation, okay, where they were talking about Hunter Biden, the Hunter Biden trial situation. Okay? And the Hunter Biden, you have like two Norwegian criminals stole a plane. I have no fucking clue. Like, this is all news to me, man. I'll look it up later. I have no clue. Norwegian criminal steal plane. I'll check it out later, okay? But listen. So I go on the Archcast, and I know that I have a different opinion than Arch and V on some things. And Kibbs was part of it, but Kibbs is not that politically minded, to be honest. So, we got into an argument. It was, we're all still friends. Everything's fine. But we got into an argument over the Hunter Biden story currently, because what happened was there was a really weird plea deal that the judge shot down. Because the plea deal for like Hunter Biden's tax crimes included immunity for other unrelated crimes, like possible espionage stuff, and that was very unusual. Hadn't happened before. Okay, usually what happens is like you have like a list of crimes. The prosecution has like a list of crimes they think they can ding you on. The defense says, okay, some of these are bullshit. Some of these are bullshit. We'll cop to this charge, all right, and you'll like go easy on us. And so they come to a deal, right? That's what a plea deal is. Is the idea like, well, they could go to trial and swing for the fence and get like 25 years, but you know what? We'll give you a couple of guilties. We'll give you like 6 months or a year, and you're going to leave us alone in the rest of them, That's what a plea deal is. However, the plea deal this time around for Hunter Biden was very unusual because it was granting him immunity to charges that aren't even related, which doesn't happen. And the judge slapped it down. All right? The judge slapped it down. And I was like, okay, like this is obviously like kind of weird. Obviously, right? This is not great. But the fact that the judge slapped it down does show that like, the system is kind of working as intended, right? It didn't just go through. So the issue ultimately is that people, and the people in Arch's chat were like screaming bloody murder about how corrupt everything is, and how the deep state is like completely pulling in for Hunter Biden and is trying to be like, okay, he's obviously guilty. They're going like, and like they're going hard on him. Arch's audience, right? They're going hard on Hunter Biden. Like he's guilty. I can't believe they're doing this. Oh my god! But then like flip the script on and then talk about like the Trump documents thing, and they completely go 180. It's like, oh, every fucking excuse in the book suddenly comes out as to why Trump's actually innocent. And it's like, okay. Like, clearly there's something partisan going on here, right? Yeah, here's the thing. Me and V and Arch, we're all still friends. We're all good. Like, we talk about it afterwards. We're fine. I'm going to keep coming on the Archcast. But Arch's chat was fucking insane. Like, I saw one guy in there just like going full on, all the judges are Jews. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, that's some insane ass bullshit. Like, calm the fuck down with that, man. The judge did slap it down if you look Arc 5. We looked at it yesterday, yeah. Yeah, it is. Zero fucks. Can't change that though. It's the best one I could find. It's the big guy's Donald Trump. It's almost like you can judge different situations differently, and it's not logically inconsistent. Zatak, it's not that. All right, it is the willingness to believe the state, the government, so hard in one case, and then completely disbelieve it in another case. Right? It shows an obvious bias where it's like, listen, okay, everything that goes my way that comes out of the government, good, truth. Awesome. We can trust them. Everything that doesn't go my way that comes out of the government, oh, it's obviously false. It's obviously corruption. It's the deep state. It's like, that's just cope. All right. You are not right all the time. Your ideology is not right all the time. And sometimes you're wrong and bad things happen to people that you like, and it's good. No, like the fact that Arch's audience believes that Hunter Biden deserves to get the fucking book thrown at him as hard as possible, and Trump deserves to be let off with nothing is just It's insane to me. It's insane. Because they're obviously both guilty. Like, holy shit. Let me read some supers before we get going. Anyway, Arch and I are considering starting a new show. I mentioned last week that Lilith's availability is getting less and less. My availability is getting less and less. The Tubcasts aren't nearly as popular as my other shows, as much as I hate to say it. Lilith will always be my friend, even we disagree on some trans stuff. Like we argue. In fact, we argued this morning over something. But like, she's always gonna be my friend, even when we disagree on things. And I would love it if I could expand the channel out and like have another space for her. But I think right now, Arch and I we gotta move forward with a different show first. We might try to do like an Adam and Sitch thing, you know, where we have like a dedicated channel just for the two of us, just for our collab, and then do like one stream a week. We're still talking about it. We don't know yet. It's blonde. I DM'd you a meme about the Oni BS. Thank you, Silver Camaro. Appreciate it. $5. Rusta. Wasn't there for the argument, but I'm here to watch the fire. Love you, Dev. Offer you're wrong because something I'll look up later. Thanks. Sean King, $10. Have you ever noticed when you bring up Pierre Poilievre to the other guys, they change the subject, refuse to hear you? It's like they don't want to believe that Canada's as bad off as they think. Yeah. Honestly, there's a lot of bad news coming out of Canada, but I think we'll be okay. Unironically, I think we'll be okay. Yeah, the big guy's Donald Trump. Thanks, Doug. Moist Loaf just DM'd you, Dev. Thanks very much, dude, for the 10. Even when you're right, Dev, you're always actually wrong. That feels very straw man, but I can't discount what you've personally seen. Yeah, the thing is like there was a bunch. So part of the conversation was over the Twitter files, right? And how the feds asked Twitter to remove some things. Now, there were times when the feds asked Twitter to remove some content, and then Twitter said no. We don't think that's right. We're not going to do it. And the feds said okay, and left them alone. Now there's a bunch of people, again, more right-leaning people, more libertarian people, that say that that's an inherently coercive transaction. That anytime the government comes into contact with you, it's inherently coercive. It's just like, well, no, it's not. It's actually not. All right. I know that libertarians don't want to hear that, but it's not. The government is not a coercive institution simply by existing. All right. And I know that because I've worked for multiple different departments of the government in multiple different capacities, blue collar, white collar. I've seen the ins and outs of it. I know the difference between when the government is asking and will leave you alone if you say no, and when the government is asking and they're actually, they're not asking, right? I know the difference. I've seen what the difference is. And it's not like every single time, a person who works for the government walks in, like everyone else just crumples, like there's an aura around them. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. Coping still? What do you mean coping still? I'm literally fucking describing what's going on. Like, here. I told this story actually on Arch's channel, but I'll tell it here again, okay? So, at one point, I had a job with the government where we had to redo a bunch of old maps. Okay? Old maps of the city. And we were basically like trying to find out exactly where the water line and the wastewater line connected to the mains underneath the road, right? So we would go door to door. We go up to a person's house and be like, hey, we're from the city. We just got to like find out real quick so we can have it in our documents where the water pipe goes from the road to your house underground. The water pipe going in and the wastewater pipe going out. All right? Had to find it out because all of our maps were wrong and fuck, they were from the 1920s. They were all... So we had to go around and figure it out. And the people, most of them were very nice. And they said, of course we'll help you out, of course. However, It was completely within their legal right to say no and close the door in our face. And we couldn't do anything, even though we work for the government. Now, if the libertarian point of view was true, because we work for the government, and the government is an inherently coercive force, we could actually, if we wanted to, escalate that all the way up to getting the cops to show up and allowing us into their house and having them be restrained. Because the government's inherently coercive, and escalate it, eventually force is used. However, that wasn't true. We weren't empowered to call the cops on this. There was no law behind what we were doing. The cops had no ability to help us. The cops wouldn't help us even if we asked. The only thing that we could do is ask them and hope that they said yes, even though we work for the government. So no, I don't believe that every encounter with anybody from the government at all times is somehow coercive. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. It's nonsense. I'm living on my couch my entire life. That's a small issue problem. Oh, are you suddenly making little spaces in this conversation for places where the government isn't actually coercive? Oh, so you hold my position. Okay, understood. I mean, they could change the law to do that if they felt like it, but they don't think it's worth the use of force. Here's the thing. You could do anything, right? Like, the government could right now just... let's say that's America, right? Let's say that's the United States. The government right now could, if they wanted, tear up the Constitution, declare it all null and void, come up with a completely new set of principles they're gonna rule by, and then institute themselves for life. And say, you know what, it doesn't matter what the institutions say because we're just people and we have the guns on our side, so fuck you. Like, they could do that. It's always possible that all of these safeguards that we lay out and then we build into law falls apart. That's always possible, all right? But it's very unlikely. It's very unlikely. And the idea of somebody from the government asking you to do something, that's inherently a coercive transaction. Nope. Don't believe it. Don't buy it. I'm still correct about this, my friends. $10, Rusta, thank you. Not wrong, but the issue is that our government should not be asking that in the first place. It's like trying to rob someone but failing for whatever reason. You didn't do it. You shouldn't have tried. No. I don't necessarily agree. I think there's good reasons for the government to ask social media for things. I think there's actually good reasons for that. You know, if there's evidence of a crime, for example, on social media, the government should ask them for information about it. You know, get the IP, get the location, get the source. If there's classified documents, should it be taken down? You know, maybe, right? If we actually, what if something actually is propaganda, right? What if we have actual proof that there's some psyop story that China has spit out into the Western media? You know, should governments not counter enemy propaganda? It seems like they should, right? So there's like good reasons for all this stuff to happen. You just have to be very careful with how you do it. Tricky, thanks for the $3. Have you even checked the DMs from me? Not yet, but I'm gonna. Okay. You are on that? No, I'm not, Giga Chad. If the FBI comes around and asks you for something, that isn't a level of coercion. No, it's not. No, it's not. You say, no. Have a good day, officer. No. I don't believe the existence of the fucking cops showing up. And the FBI, they're just federal level cops. Them just showing up and talking to you, no, not a threat. It's a powerful force that owns all the force asking you to do something. Not in the United States. You have guns in the States. Second Amendment means that the government doesn't own all the force. It's really no different than a bully asking you for your lunch. Nope, don't agree. Because the government doesn't actually fucking destroy you every single time you say no. In fact, it's like I said, man, In the Twitter files, we have examples of the feds asking Twitter, Twitter saying no, and the feds saying okay. So very clearly, it's not the same as a bully asking for your lunch money. Oh my god. Okay. Let's continue on, though. Let's continue on. It's not the mafia either. Nope. Oh my god. So many bad takes. I love you guys, but there's some retardation here today. All right. As I mentioned before, please consider following on the alt media. I'm on Kick. I'm on Twitch. I'm even streaming on Twitter. Like I said, looking to get 75 followers on Kick. Go follow us over there so I can get monetized. Additionally, if you want to join the D Club, get yourself in to the D Club Discord. $5 recurring monthly tip through Patreon, Subscribestar, the memberships button on YouTube, and the sub button on Twitch. If you are over on Twitch right now, you can drop $5 right there. Get yourself into the Discord. It automatically puts you in. Also, if you have Amazon Prime, you have a free sub. You've already paid for it. You can give me $5 that you've already spent. It comes with Amazon, so you might as well toss me $5 through Amazon Prime. And yes, on screen right now is the P.O. box. If you want to send me your boxes of junk and garbage, send it to that P.O. box address. Please consider doing so. Oh, God. One guy's like, lame, bye. Okay, bye. Listen, I'm not right wing. I'm a liberal. I know lots of you don't like that. You're going to have to deal with it. Okay. There's something else we must discuss first. Hey, Viking, what's up? Yeah? Okay. Someone sent me this very sturdy envelope. Yep, there's the P.O. box right there. Let's open it up. I have my unboxing knife that I use for all my unboxings in the dev kit. Come on, open up. Dev, you are a theocratic Marxist and you know it. His argument is that it's not like the mafia because you've seen them back down when told no. That would be different from a bully because the bully would beat you up. Yeah, but governments aren't like mafias or bullies or corporations, you know. All of these things are different things. As strange as that sounds. Okay, what's in here? What is this? Oh. Dude, someone made me a fucking sticker. It's Giga Chad Dev. Yes. Giga Chad. What else is in here? Oh God, beers and bullshit. Dev doesn't understand U.S. constitutional law like he seems to think he does. Here's what I understand: the Constitution only has power if people believe it has power. If every single American wanted the Constitution gone, it'd be gone. Because all of these things are man-made. That's the point. That's the ultimate point. That's like the ultimate endpoint of all of the anti-institutional, like dissident politics right now. Okay, what else? What is this stuff, dude? Hold on, there's lots of stuff. Oh, it's a silhouette of me and Dave on the couch saying, "Shut up, fat man." What's that have to do with the conversation? Because that's the context that I brought that's the only context that I brought the Constitution up in this stream, dude. Is that, oh my god. You don't get it. Sounds like it's just a social construct. It's true, it is just a social construct. Oh my god. Listen, things that are social constructs are real, but they also lose all force when people stop believing in them. That's the point. Oh my god. I don't know how you guys missed the point. What's this? Oh, it's like a Zelda logo for Tears of the Kingdom, but it says SFO on it. That's neat. Yeah. Oh, and this is Furry Naomi. And Dev, the Constitution descended from heaven. This is from Zero Katsune. Thank you, Zero Katsune. I'm once more sending some weird vinyl stickers. So this round of shenanigans, the SFO arcade sticker is only for indoor use. I also included 3 other stickers. When you make it a chuckle out of? A sticker for Dave, one of his more common phrases of frustration. I put one for Naomi with a quote from the gardening video. Originally, I was thinking of making a cat name, but I didn't want to feed into any Lilith confusion, so I went with this Naomi. I may not always agree with your takes on things, but it's good to hear them. Thanks very much, Zero Kitsune. I will say, you sent me the Chrono Trigger ones before. Unfortunately, I think I waited too long to use them. I went to go use them, and they disintegrated. So it had been too long. But I appreciate you sending more stickers. So thanks for the stickers, dude. Really appreciate it. Let me take the camera away. But thanks very much. I feel bad that I couldn't use the Chrono Trigger one you made, because I really liked it. I'll make sure to put these somewhere for real this time. Like, right away. Okay, so here's what I meant by... Jesus Christ. Here's what I meant by the constitutional thing. Alright? A lot of, let's say, dissident rightists, alright? People on the right who aren't part of the establishment. Their logic behind a lot of their politics is that the state is inherently a coercive and corrupting force, and that institutions cannot be trusted because they only serve to uphold the status quo, and that all modes of politics outside of the status quo will naturally be disadvantaged when operating within the status quo, because the status quo specifically wants to gatekeep them out. That is like Trump's argument as an outsider, right? Is that politics itself is positioned against him, and all of the institutions of the United States are positioned against him, right? And so therefore, however, at the same time, a lot of these people tend to nonetheless fall back on the Constitution for the moral legitimacy of their claims. So they'll say, listen, the feds can't talk to Twitter about whatever. Why? And then if you push them long enough, they'll give some concept of the government being an inherently corrupt force. The Constitution meant to constrain the government. The Constitution is our only hope of ever constraining the government. It's this sort of libertarian type stuff, right? However, because it is actually all just power in the end, there's no reason the Constitution would ever actually stop a truly evil government. Like, if the government just wanted to fuck you, and there was nothing good there at all, Do you think a piece of paper would actually stop them? It would literally be like Cersei at the end of Game of Thrones season 1, where she rips the letter up. That's what it would be. The reason the government hasn't fucked you yet and hasn't ripped the Constitution up is because it's actually not all evil. And that is a hard pill to swallow when it comes to people who are on the outside of politics. Because it implies that there might actually be a good fucking reason as to why they're on the outside of politics. And they don't want to deal with that. They'd rather believe that the system is rigged against them rather than the fact that they suck and can't get elected. It's because of the Second Amendment. Yeah, but that's just part of the Constitution, right? If the American government were actually as evil as you all claim, it would have no problem going to war with its own citizens. But it doesn't. Coffee's good. That should be my NPC stream. Coffee's good. Coffee's good. Coffee's good. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Coffee's good. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Slurp, slurp, slurp. $2 from Crack Bandicoot. Gang, gang. Gang, gang. Thanks, buddy. And Stigma, thanks for joining the D Club. Hi, Dev. When the trucker video finally comes out, will you admit your secret kinks as an apology for taking it? You have over 2 years to make it. Hasn't been 2 years yet. It's been 1.5 years since the trucker thing, and it's been about 6 months since I'm considered late on it. Okay. Dev, please stop. Dev, no. I love you guys. And yes, someone said statism. Yeah, I'm a statist, guys. I'm a liberal. What do you fucking think liberal means? It means institutions. It means responsible governments. Yes, I'm a fucking statist. I'm not a fucking anarchist. Like, what the fuck? Here. Let's pull up. Do you want me to pull up? Do you want me to pull up the articles for today? Dev, please cease this psychic warfare. God damn it. Here, give me a second, okay? I'm trying something else. Oh, no. €2. Tonushi, you're sleeping against us even with the NPC angle. Liberals are not statist? That's dumb. Obviously liberals are statist. What are you fucking talking about? Liberals are not statist? What the fuck kind of definition? Oh my god. I think the fact that I'm dealing with this much brain rot on 3 hours of sleep is like destroying me. $2. The anarcho-statist movement. Thanks, Doug. $2 from Jay Lucky. Ride it, cowgirl. Fuck. Classical liberalism is critical of the state, and I don't mind being critical of the state when necessary. I don't believe that the default position should be to be critical of it all the time. Okay. Leftists are statist, liberals are not statist. Matt Ridge, that's fucking dumb. I appreciate you, but you're fucking dumb. Okay. It is time to do the articles, though, is it not? Everything should be mistrusted until proven trustworthy. Okay, now do your favorite politicians. Now do Trump. Now do every single thing Trump did. Slurp at DevPC. Also, did you mess with the Kuno? I haven't watched the VOD yet. I was too busy. Trump came to town. I got to see his plane. Thanks, $5. Jasso haven't. We have, in fact, gotten to the part with the Kuno. Yeah. Oh, suddenly someone in the chat. What did Trump do? What do you... Dude, if you're saying out here, be instantly critical immediately of all politicians, all governments, all states, but you're not going to be critical of the guy you like, then you don't actually hold this principle. Oh my fucking... Okay. All right. Let's go. Do you hate the smell of BO? Do you hate the smell of BO? You might be xenophobic. Bizarre study finds people who are sensitive to disgusting smells are more likely to have negative attitudes towards migrants. Listen, so if you don't like the smell of, as they say, feces, sweat, and urine, you're not going to like migrants showing up. Well, do the migrants smell like feces, sweat, and urine? I don't know, dude. Let's see, hold on. This is kind of... Okay. Yep. Bizarre new research claims that people with a sensitive nose for disgusting smells are more likely to be xenophobic. In a study across 9 countries, scientists have linked repulsion to sweat, bad breath, and smelly feet with heightened disliking for refugees. Steering clear of stenches is a natural mechanism that helps us avoid illnesses, experts at whatever this place is in Stockholm explain. But when working into overdrive, this may trigger hostility towards refugees, who they suggest can be perceived as having dissimilar hygiene and food habits. Individuals more easily disgusted by body odors are also more prone to having negative attitudes towards refugees. Wow, guys. You know, the racist take is just be like, well, it don't smell like shit, god damn it. But what's actually going on here is probably like disgust sensitivity, because disgust sensitivity is simultaneously both the mechanism that humans use to not eat rotten food so they don't catch diseases, and also the disgust sensitivity is also what drives a homophobia, because again, same-sex relations, specifically between men, there's a chance of disease there, and then also it drives like in-group preference. These are all kind of related parts of the brain. That's just how it is. Yeah, the big 5. Well, it's the big 6 for Jonathan Haidt, but yeah. As in previous work prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, this relationship was partially explained by the perceived dissimilarity of the outgroup in norms related to basic practices, such as food preparation and hygiene. So we had 7,000 participants: UK, New Zealand, Canada, Nigeria, Kenya, Hong Kong, Chile, Italy, and Sweden. That's a fair amount of diversity there. And they had a body odor sensitivity, sweat, urine, feet, gas, breath, upper body sweat, and feces. All right. Okay, there's just a bunch of discussions on the actual the science itself, or the questions. But yes, it turns out, you want to make yourself less racist? Get used to the smell of someone else's shit, guys. Because why the fuck not? By the way, those of you who are on Twitch, and like the 2 people on Kick, How do you like the fact that I'm doing the sip on these other channels now? How do you feel about it? Let me know. Let me know, okay? Fill me in. And if you are on Twitch, give me your Twitch Prime. Yeah, I know, Titanium. I know. I've just been lazy. I'm doing it now. I know. I know. Let me take this camera down, actually. Okay. I built a privacy fence to protect my child from needles and condoms being dumped in my garden, and now I have to tear it down. A mom who built a privacy fence around... What the fuck is this giant... Okay. A mom who built a privacy fence around her garden to protect her child and dogs has been left furious after she was ordered to take it down. Natalie Anderson was left fearing for her family after people were dumping used syringes, glass bottles, and condoms in the garden in front of her house. What the fuck, dude? Oh, hold on. White woman dog? Yep. She built a little fence because this is the road here, and some fucking losers keep dumping shit into her garden, and she didn't like it. To stop them from landing near her front door, she replaced the wire fencing outside of her house with a stronger wooden privacy fence. After it was built, she submitted a retrospective planning application to the council. We should probably submit that first, right? If you have to. It's dumb that you have to do it, but still. She was told it would need to be halved in size as it was too high. She was furious and she lodged an attempt with the Scottish ministers, but she said that her attempt was lost. Her second attempt was then rejected because it should have been sent to the local council's review body. By that time, it was too late to appeal, as it was past the deadline date. Natalie was told she had taken too long to appeal, because it wouldn't file within the council's review body within 3 months. She said, "This is ridiculous. The fence was raised to stop things being thrown in my garden. It looks so much better than the old fencing or putting a hedge in, which would have been allowed." Put a hedge in, then. Hedges are nice, to be honest. I want hedge walls to come back. They're great. But yeah. Fucking bullshit, isn't it? The FBI raided a notable journalist's home. The Rolling Stone didn't tell readers why. Oh my god, let's check this out. Oh. On the last October 18th, Rolling Stone served up a foreboding scoop. The FBI had raided the home of a renowned journalist at the top of his game months earlier, and he had disappeared from public view. It should have been a coup. Instead, acrimony inside the newsroom over how that scoop was edited led to accusations the magazine's brash leader pulled punches in overseeing coverage of someone that he knew. The reporter who wrote the story, enraged, accepted a position at a sister publication 2 months later, and her complaints prompted a senior attorney for the magazine's parent company to review what happened. FBI raids on journalists are rare. News organizations often respond with formal protests and legal challenges. Under a 2021 Justice Department policy, raids, subpoenas, and other compulsory means of obtaining materials from reporters are banned for any investigation of matters related to their journalism. The policy became the basis for a significant shift in the stance of the Justice Department towards the press. This April 22nd raid was quite possibly the first raid carried out by the Biden administration on a journalist. In this case, the journalist was ABC News national security producer James Gordon Meek. A former investigator for the U.S. House Homeland Security Committee, Meek had been with ABC News since 2013. He was also producer of 3212 Unredacted, an investigative documentary. Meek appears to be on the wrong side of the national security apparatus. What's it stated? Oh, right. The Rolling Stones article, right. Federal agents allegedly found classified information on Meek's laptop during their raid. Meek had left the job at ABC after the raid. As edited by Rolling Stone editor-in-chief Noah Schachman, whatever the fuck this is. However, the article omitted a key fact that Siegel initially intended to include. Siegel had learned from her sources that Meek had been raided as a part of a federal investigation into images of child sex abuse. Oh my god. Something not publicly revealed till last month. Why did Rolling Stone suggest Meek was targeted for his coverage of national security rather than something unrelated to his journalism? That's fucked. Dude. Okay. Journalist is raided by FBI. Rolling Stone says, hey, they're going after this guy because they don't like his national security takes. Journalist knows and censors that the FBI is actually going after him for child porn. Oh my, like, what the fuck, Rolling Stone? Neither of them would comment for the story. This article is based on a review of some contemporaneous communications and also interviews with 10 people with knowledge of the incidents, including several individuals at Rolling Stone as well as people at ABC and also the feds. Okay. That just seems like fucking wild to me, dude. Okay. The raid on Meek's apartment occurred in April but not become public knowledge. In September, Siegel learned details of the raid from Meek's neighbors, yet she felt the story was languishing. At a staff meeting late that month, he asked her what she was working on. She reminded him. As a longtime national security reporter himself, Schachman has periodically exposed to colleagues at various outlets skepticism of the veracity of government sources. When Siegel detained the seriousness of the allegations against Meek, he warned her against turning in a story that included the words child pornography in it. Okay, so basically, the leader of the Rolling Stone believed the feds are liars, and so said, do not say that the feds found child porn on my friend's laptop. Oh. I see. Is that how it is? It came to me in a dream. Oh, God. Fucking hell, man. It could be a plant. You guys are going off on it too. All right, so do you think that the feds planted the child porn to make a journalist who dislikes them look bad? Yes or no? Or no, actually, the journalist did, in fact, have actual child porn, and Rolling Stone tried to cover it up. Who's the villains here? The feds or Rolling Stone? Okay. Mark S. Zaid, a Washington attorney who often handles national security matters, represents government whistleblowers, called Schachman on Meek's behalf. Wait and see. Now, see, that's actually the better option, right? Just wait and see, dude. Wait and see. Like, chill out. It's okay. You don't got to give a hot take right the fuck away. That's what I always do. I know I get shit on for it, but I'm like, hey, we don't have enough evidence. This isn't enough proof just yet. Wait for a little bit more. Hold on. Like, chill out. I always say that. I always say that, and everyone gets mad. Okay. Mark S. Zaid, a Washington attorney who often handles national security matters and represents government whistleblowers, called them on Meek's behalf while Siegel was prepping her story. He previously represented the Beast. Okay. Zaid confirms that he called Schachman, and he tells NPR that Meek was a longtime friend and client on Freedom of Information issues. Zaid says he was representing Meek on any possible prosecution or investigation of his potential possession of classified material. Oh. The accounts given by the associates, colleagues, and friends of the two key figures diverge here. According to what Siegel told others, Schachman and she agreed that the article would reflect the FBI's interest stemmed from concerns of possible criminal behavior outside the scope of Meek's work. That is, it had nothing to do with national security or with journalism. Yep, Meek ended up pleading guilty, so it seems like it was actually not planted, right? my god. Oh my god. You can tell I haven't slept I only slept 3 hours last night. Fuck, I'm barely holding it together. I'm sorry, guys. Source, Rolling Stone, LOL. Well, hold on. If James Gordon Meek actually pled guilty, you should be able to find that in official records. Like, court cases are public. You can find that. Yeah, cops have been found planting drugs on suspects before. Remember there was that one time where, like, Vosh was reacting to a clip and he was like, look, dude, this cop is clearly putting drugs in the car. And it was like just complete fucking bullshit. Yeah, he pleaded guilty. No, Tidge, case isn't closed. I'm sure the feds pushed him into it too. The feds are always the ones who are wrong. Dev needs a double dose of Sipper energy. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, there's 11 of you there over there in Kick. Yeah. Following Kick, guys. Okay. Let's see here. Shakshrin later told others he did not believe she had nailed down her sourcing adequately. Rolling Stone parent company Penske Media notes that authority to make such choices for Rolling Stone's coverage lies with Shakshrin. That was true in this case, as reflected in the final edits to the story, the company said in the statement to NPR. Okay. So it just seems like the story diverged at this point, as they say. And they're both doing like a he said, she said thing. Overclock your brain. You know what? Maybe I will take like a short break and grab some more coffee, you know? Stop being fat and wrong? No. I have to be. Yeah, you know what I'll do? Bidenflation. Bidenflation. Okay, you know what's really funny about Bidenflation, no pants baby? Everyone talks about it, right? Like, oh my god, Biden's economy. And to be fair, inflation in 2022 hit a high of like 9%. 9 point something percent, right? But what's the current inflation rate? America, not Canada. USA current inflation rate. The current, like here, check this out. Check this out, guys. All right? Look. US inflation rate is currently at 2.97% compared to 4 last month and 9 last year. It peaked at around 9. That's when all the Bidenflation stuff was going on. Biden's economy, holy fuck, everything is going wild. We've got hyperinflation, guys. You know what? The normal rate is 1 to 2. We're now at 2.97. Things are actually pretty much just returning to normal. Like, things are actually just going back to normal. It's fine, it turns out. And now that inflation is more or less under control, nobody's talking Bidenflation anymore. Right, because the 3% is so cut above average? Yeah, sure, but like, it was 4% last month. Given another month or two, it'll be back down to the 1 to 2% that it's supposed to be at. Yeah. So, it'll totally be fine. No, I know inflation is a rate of change that's attacked. You know what? A 1 to 2% inflation rate is good. It's fine. It's what you expect. It's normal. It's desired, a 1 to 2% inflation rate. It's around the same in Canada, yeah. No, Dev is never returning to normal. Inflation being under control doesn't mean it's going back to normal. No, it's not going to deflate back down. The prices aren't going to go down again. I didn't say no damage was done during that time, but this, like, okay, dude, everyone's saying that we were having hyperinflation, including Artemis, by the way. All wrong. All bullshit. Hyperinflation, guys? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what is hyperinflation? Hyperinflation is 50% per month. An annual rate of 1,000%. Like, we never got anywhere close to that, dude. Like, nowhere fucking close. Sonicflation? Superinflation? Nah, man. It's crazy. If you guys think there's actually been hyperinflation, it's not blue pills, dude. It's truth pills. Oh, we definitely had like high inflation for sure. Obviously, right? Well, I did my Bidenomics video, guys. The Bidenomics video showed that, like, yeah, I'll just fucking show you. I gotta go get more coffee anyway. Fuck. You know what I fucking do? Hold on. Pull the NAS up. All right. All right, you cucks. I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to go to the washroom, get coffee, and then we'll continue the sip. Yep, this is your break. Watch the content. Bidenflation is changing people's lives. Fact check, it's Bidenflation, not Putinflation. Summer of Bidenflation means hardship. High prices for Americans. High prices are costing families $5,000 more this year. Everybody's talking about the current inflation crisis as being a product of Biden's administration, how it's his and the Democrats' greatest disaster, and how it's going to lead to their inevitable downfall in 2022 and 2024. Though I have a feeling that the Democrats aren't going to perform very well in the midterms. The 2024 presidential race remains to be seen. But nonetheless, the moniker of Bidenflation, like Obamacare before it, seems to have stuck. But how much of the inflation is actually Biden's, or more broadly, the Democrats' fault? Let's check it out. Firstly, let's ask the question, how much inflation has there actually been? Well, the numbers in the USA, Canada, and Europe all point to around 5 to 6% inflation in 2021 and 7 to 9% inflation so far in 2022, with the historic average being 1 to 2%. For example, in February the inflation rate was 7.8, in March 8.5, in April 6.8, in May 8.6, in June 9.1, and for July so far we're estimated at around 8%. Let's take 8 as an easy number to work with. Dean Baker from the left-leaning Center for Economic and Policy Research says that 2% of inflation, approximately 1/4 of that 8, was caused by Biden's American Rescue Plan, or the ARP, which the Republicans deride for printing about $2 trillion as stimulus to bail out pretty much everybody from the COVID crisis. Douglas Holtz-Eakin from the right-leaning American Action Forum estimates that about 4% of inflation, approximately 1/2 of that 8, was caused by the ARP. And this range between 1/4 and 1/2 is where most economists place their calculations. Michael Strain from the libertarian-leaning American Enterprise Institute guesses that the ARP caused about 1/3 of inflation. Jason Furman, professor at Harvard, says that inflation in America is 4% higher, that's 1/2, than countries in Europe which did not implement a comparable stimulus as the ARP. So it does indeed seem like the inflation was partially caused by the Biden administration's American Rescue Plan. And we can see this pretty starkly on an inflation graph. Inflation begins moving beyond the 2% upper limit in March 2021, which is the month that the ARP was passed, and continues to skyrocket with no end in sight. But inflation is not entirely caused by the ARP. Some people on the left say that inflation is caused by the war in Ukraine, and that Bidenflation is just rhetoric and cope from the Republicans. We can examine that claim too. In an article by Corrado Maccarelli, an associate professor at Brunel University, he estimates that the Russian invasion of Ukraine has led to an increase in oil prices by 30%, gas prices in Europe by 90%, and food prices by 17%, because Ukraine was a net exporter of grain and corn. The food price increase will also cause a price increase in biofuels down the line. Maccarelli ultimately estimates that the war in Ukraine will add about 2% to global inflation in 2022 and 1% in 2023. The Federal Reserve's own analysis comes to a lower number, 1.3%, but for the exact same reasons. So it may very well be the case that anywhere from 1/5 to 1/4 of that 8% inflation number we're seeing right now, 1.5 to 2%, could be caused by the war in Ukraine. The left also likes to blame the COVID supply chain crisis. We can check that claim out too, no problem. Here's a graph of global supply chain pressures. That first big hump is the initial 2020 lockdown, where no one knew what was going on. China was shutting down everything like crazy. World travel was being affected. Everyone was told to stop going into work and stay indoors. The second, larger hump happened at the same time as the inflation peak. So let's consider the possibility. Why would supply chain pressure cause inflation? This graph runs from 1960 to 2020, and it shows the individual consumption of durable goods, non-durable goods, and services. Non-durable goods are things that you buy and consume regularly, like food or gas. Stuff that you can't just make a one-time purchase of. Services are, well, when you pay the people to do stuff, that's obvious. Durable goods are things that you only need to buy once in a while. Cars, TVs, furniture, computers. These are big purchases that you might only need to buy once every 5, 10, or 15 years. What you should notice is that the durable goods purchases, the blue line, is significantly more volatile than the others. This makes sense, at least to me. During a depression or a recession, most people will put off those big permanent purchases, like cars or anything else, in order to prioritize non-durable goods, like food. And when things are going good, we can expect to see spikes in durable purchases for the same reason. Case in point, the 2008 recession. But once we add 2022's data to this graph, we notice that this current economic crisis is rather unique. We had the expected downturn around March of 2020, but by March of 2021, we had reached record highs, disproportionate highs, on spending of durable goods. In other words, people were spending more money than in any other point in history on big ticket items like cars and TVs and computers and whatever else. There was a huge shift in consumer preferences. Why? Part of that, again, we can lay at the feet of the ARP. If everyone's getting a fat stack deposited into the bank account, why not buy that new TV or whatever? Fair enough. But that's not the whole story. With people working from home, that's less Starbucks coffees grabbed on the way to work every day. That's less pre-made sandwiches for lunch. That's less restaurant visits. That's less $22 slices of avocado toast. And the incidental consumables market has been affected to the point that people who create that overpriced slop are beginning to complain. Even if we disregard the ARP stimulus, people's work habits have changed, which means that people's incidental spending has also changed. Less money spent on a lunch every day means more money in the bank available to spend, and that money is being spent on durable goods. In a way, back during the 2010s, when the boomers were telling millennials to stop eating out and spending money on frivolous temporary treats and delicacies so that they could actually afford things like houses and cars. Well, the boomers were right, except that a pandemic forced everyone to do it all at once, and we're now seeing the end result of that shift in behavior in the supply chain crunch. And one final side point. I don't think that one sideways boat that turned into a meme for a while had too big of an impact on the supply chain crunch, and therefore inflation. But you never know. The Suez Canal is pretty important after all. That reminds me though, I've described where the supply chain pressure comes from, but not really why it causes inflation. When a supply chain experiences bottlenecks or droughts, goods aren't flowing at a steady pace anymore. This is called a shock. During a supply shock, prices go up because of a lack of availability. Demand remains the same, but supply goes down, causing the remaining supply to be more valuable. A great example of this is used car prices during the pandemic. Due to a scarcity of semiconductors suitable for use in new computerized cars, there was limited new car production. With less new cars rolling out, used car prices skyrocketed. During supply shocks that are widespread enough or strong enough, inflation goes up because prices of everything go up. But at the same time, growth slows. The companies producing the product ultimately have less capital to reinvest. Because they're not producing as much, so they're not selling as much, and so the amount that they can put back into the next production cycle is lower. It becomes a death spiral. However, during a demand shock, prices go up because of an increase in demand. Supply remains the same, but demand goes up. More people want to buy things. In terms of the relative scarcity of remaining supply, this is the same situation as a supply shock. The supply becomes more valuable. But there's another factor to consider beyond increased demand driving price increases. Unlike with a supply shock, growth doesn't slow down during a demand shock if the companies producing the products can keep production in line with the excess demand. If they can, then growth actually begins to accelerate. COVID lockdowns, paradoxically, created both a supply and a demand shock. Nobody was allowed to produce anything during the initial lockdowns. Supply was constrained, causing prices to rise for the now rare goods. Then immediately after, before the supply chain had a chance to readjust after production resumed, demand massively exploded for those two reasons that I mentioned earlier, the ARP stimulus and the new spending habits promoted during lockdown living. And then to top it off, right after that, we got a second, smaller supply shock in the form of the war in Ukraine. This is why those estimates from earlier approximated the ARP as causing anywhere from 2% to 4% of the total 8% of American inflation. Reduced production during lockdown, different spending habits after lockdown, and the war in Ukraine have also all contributed. So, for the sake of argument, let's give the anti-Biden people the best possible numbers. Let's assume Biden's stimulus actually caused 4%, half of the inflation. That leaves the other 4% to be divided among the war in Ukraine, lockdowns preventing production, new spending habits, and the normal 1 to 2% background inflation. The question is then, what did Americans get out of the ARP? And was it worth 4% inflation? Well, on February 24th, 2022, Moody's Analytics published Global Fiscal Policy in the Pandemic, where they found that the ARP, 1, grew the GDP by 5.7% in 2021, which is approximately 3% more than without any stimulus. Now, a lot of people say that GDP is a bunk stat, because that tells you how well corpos are doing, not people, and fair enough. So let's move on. 2, increased health insurance enrollment by 4.2 million, and kept 3.7 million children out of poverty, though I think a lot of that second figure came from the expanded child tax credit, which was a side piece of legislation, not the ARP proper. Also, I understand that a lot of people are just ideologically opposed to the idea of a tax-funded safety net, and so bringing more people onto health insurance isn't a positive for them. So let's move on to 3. Brought back 4 million jobs in 2021 and lowered unemployment by 2%. Without the ARP, employment was on track to rise back over 7% in the middle of 2021 and remain there. This is something that Republicans have to get behind, because jobs are their big thing. They can disregard the GDP for good reasons. They can disregard the social safety net stuff for meh reasons, but they can't disregard job growth. Now, Moody's report thinks that the ARP caused only 0.3% of the total inflation. That is wildly out of line with everybody else's calculations. And again, for the sake of argument, for strengthening the Republican side of the math, let's disregard that figure. To your average Republican voter who doesn't care about the GDP and who is pretty lukewarm on the idea of getting more people onto health insurance, was 4% inflation worth it to get 4 million jobs, 2% lowered unemployment, and the aversion of a second COVID recession? Are we better off with the inflation and those benefits than a world where we had 4% inflation instead of 8, and in return, unemployment was pegged at over 7%? There were 4 million fewer people working, and America was dealing with the Ukraine supply shock during an even worse economic crisis? I don't know about you, but I don't think so. That's not to say that print money, provide stimulus is the answer to every single economic problem. Sri Lanka has proven that it's not. You can't just print and spend when your economy has no actual productive capacity. But there does seem to be an argument that responsibly, prudently printing money in a limited, measured way operates like borrowing against future likely production, rather than simply devaluing your currency in the present. I already understand the argument that's coming out of the gold standard types in the comments right now. Your economy only has so much production, and your country has only so many dollars. If suddenly, your government, like Venezuela or Sri Lanka, just prints a whole bunch of money, they've increased the money supply without actually increasing the productive capacity of their society. This results in each individual unit of money representing less of the total amount of production. Hence, prices go up and hence inflation. Sometimes when nations do this, they do it out of ignorance and end up stupidly destroying their economies with hyperinflation. However, we have seen socialist countries, most notably the Soviet Union, use inflation as a weapon. Hemingway wrote about how the Bolsheviks deliberately ruined the Russian ruble in order to impoverish money-holding people who did no actual labor. After the bourgeois was done away with, the now destroyed Russian ruble was replaced with the gold-backed Soviet ruble. The fact that money printing can be used as a weapon in this way is likely one of the reasons that libertarians often refer to Keynesians as communists. However, and this is what responsible governments try to do, let's assume that money is printed for a specific purpose. Let's assume that I am an unproductive citizen, but I have an idea for a new business. The government gives me a grant because my pitch sounds good. The government prints me the money to fund my business. Because money has been added to the supply without any change in productive capacity, this should cause inflation. But remember, I was unproductive before. Let's assume that my business is actually productive. I'm now working when I wasn't before. Maybe I create jobs and hire people. All of us are now producing when before we weren't. In this way, the government's measured, responsible printing of money has increased both the money supply and the productive capacity of society. And with the ratio between the two remaining roughly equal, there's no inflation. That is what borrowing against future likely production is. It's using printing money as a scalpel rather than, say, a chainsaw. A responsible government can estimate where injecting money into the system is likely to actually stimulate production in order to prevent or lessen inflation. And during a crisis like COVID, where in the first few months we really didn't know whether or not we were dealing with the cold or the Black Plague yet, an initial lockdown seemed necessary. And the ARP to restart production and borrow against the future production of a recovered economy also seemed necessary. So the final verdict: what caused inflation? The best case answer for Republicans is around 50% of the inflation was in fact caused by the Democrats passing the American Rescue Plan. However, that plan came with multiple economic benefits along with the inflation, and that not passing it while lessening inflation would ultimately have left the economy in a worse position. Inflation is still a serious problem that Biden needs to solve, obviously. But in an alternate universe, we probably would have been talking about the Biden economic crash instead of Bidenflation. And I don't know about you, but I think most people prefer living in this one. There we go, I'm back. How'd you enjoy watching an old video from the past? I think this video's like a year and a half old at this point. What'd you think? I wasn't paying attention, but I'm 90% sure you were wrong. Fuck you! Listen, guys, listen. For all you people who think that, like, Dev's just a mindless Biden shill, he only goes for the establishment, whatever the fuck. Did that sound like I was somebody who, like, just, I didn't even think about it? Like, did it sound like I was not even considering ideas? That video aged like milk? How the fuck did it? What was wrong with it, dude? Dev's chat is overdosing on copium. Alright. Anyway, you know what? The economy's still not great, but it has been slowly recovering. Anyone who tells you that everything's still on fire and it's still terrible, fucking crazy, dude. Things are actually slowly getting better. Sounds like a teacher putting a VHS on instead of working. Yeah, man. Dude, wasn't it fun when, like, the teacher would put a movie on and then one of the kids managed to get a hold of it before class and record it over it with a porno? And accidentally played a porn on the TV? The inflation hasn't gotten worse, Willison. I just showed you before the fucking video. The inflation peaked at 9%. It's now at 2.9%. It's significantly better. Wait, I didn't fail to say how spending increased economic productivity. That's obvious, Kyle. Okay, when you spend, that's more money into the pockets of the company you bought product from, which they can then use to reinvest in their next round of product. Spending does spur productivity. Biden burned my savings and shot my dog. It's not going to deflate, Willison. The market will adjust to the current rate, as it always does with all inflation. God damn it, Tycronder. You know what? Fuck you. Okay, let's go. I have to bring the fucking thing back. Okay. A student was suspended after posting memes about his principal. Oh no! A lawsuit filed on behalf of the 17-year-old student accuses his Tennessee school district and 2 administrators of violating his First Amendment rights. No, 2.9, not 290, goddammit. Okay. A 17-year-old student in Tennessee is suing his school district and 2 top school officials for the 3-day suspension he received after he posted satirical memes about the principal on social media when he was not on campus. How is the 9% the new baseline when it's down to 2.9, dude? All right, the chat's fucking retarded today. I swear to God, there's 1 brain cell per chatter right now. I can't fucking deal with this. All right. A 17-year-old student in Tennessee is suing his school district and 2 top school officials for the 3-day suspension he received after he posted satirical memes about the principal on social media when he was not at campus. The student, identified in court documents only as IP, probably because he's underage, is starting his senior year next month at Tullahoma High School in Tullahoma, Tennessee, about 60 miles southeast of Nashville. The lawsuit accuses the defendants, Tullahoma City Schools' Jason Quick, the former principal, and Derek Crutchfield, an assistant principal, of violating his First Amendment rights. In 2022, IP posted 3 memes on his public Instagram account. IP was his last name freely. On his public Instagram account featuring Mr. Quick. None of the memes were uploaded while IP was on campus during school hours, according to the lawsuit, which was filed on July 19th in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Tennessee. One showed Mr. Quick holding a box of vegetables, to which IP added text that said, "like a sister but not a sister." Okay. Another portrayed Mr. Quick in a dress with cat ears and whiskers, while a third meme showed the principal's face superimposed on a video game character being hugged by a cartoon bird. IP intended the images to satirize, in IP's view, Quick's overly serious demeanor. IP was informed of the 5-day suspension by Mr. Crutchfield in August 2022, after meeting with Mr. Quick. The student had a panic attack, the lawsuit says. A panic attack! And the suspension was reduced to 3 days. The same punishment that applies to students in a fistfight. This is fucking bullshit, isn't it? Kid posts a joke picture about his principal on the fucking Instagram account, like private Instagram, does it from home, gets suspended. Like, that's bullshit, dude. Listen, Hollow Knight, the chat does not reflect the streamer because the chat is significantly more right-wing than I am. All right. The Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, a free speech advocacy group known as FIRE, is helping is helping the student whose mother, identified as BP in the filing, is listed as the plaintiff representing her son. The student intended the images to be tongue-in-cheek commentary satirizing a school administrator he perceived as humorless. The lawyer said on Monday that the heart of the issue is that as long as the posts do not disrupt the school day, the school cannot censor it. BP is asking that her son's suspension be expunged from his record, and she is also seeking unspecified monetary damages from a jury trial. And of course, the defense team is also asking the court to prevent the high school from enforcing its social media policy. The policy says that social media use that is unbecoming of a student, or the distribution of photographs, video, or recordings that are embarrassing, demeaning, or discrediting to students or staff could be subject to discipline. Like, man, I'm so happy that when I went to high school, there was no social media policy yet. It was all just weird internet shit that none of the boomers knew about. Post whatever you want online. It's all fine. It's okay. You know what I mean? Right-wingers are more inclined to listen to neutral parties. That's not how it was yesterday. But yeah, fucking wild, dude. Like, imagine being in school nowadays and your principal is stalking your Instagram to see if you post memes about him. Like, what the fuck, dude? A woman who answered the phone at the high school on Monday said she wasn't able to comment. Receptionist for the district took a message, but there was no comment from the officials there. Mr. Quick stepped down as principal on June 30th. Oh my God. He referred questions to his lawyer. No, Mr. Crutchfield could not be reached. Okay. Damn. Courts in the U.S. have previously ruled on whether schools have the power to oversee or discipline students' behavior off campus and outside of school hours. They should not, by the way, in my opinion. In 2021, the Pennsylvania school district violated the First Amendment rights of a student by suspending her from the cheerleading squad after she posted vulgar messages about the school on Snapchat while she was not on school grounds. Like, this is such bullshit. We're just gonna watch. We're gonna watch what you say on social media, and you're gonna punish you. It's like, man, fuck. I hate how the internet and the real world are mixing. I hate it. I hate it. Here's the headliner for today. I modified my body to be like a black alien. Now restaurants are scared to serve me. Look at this guy. He's been blacklisted. Anthony Lofredo, who calls himself the Black Alien, removed his ears, his nostrils, and even a few fingers, sharpened his teeth and dyed them purple, and covered his body in extreme tattoos. Now the French... Of course he's fucking French. God damn it. Now the Frenchman says he's found one space where he can't come in peace. If I want to eat at a restaurant, sometimes the server says I can't eat in the terrace. While some alter the size of their figure or inject fillers into their face, Lofredo's body modification is out of this world. He revealed he was miserable living in a... Oh my God. He was miserable living in a body he didn't belong in, finding new self-confidence from people who have reportedly told him that his appearance makes them feel more secure with themselves. Oh my fucking lord, dude. I cannot run for prime minister because you have to be leader of a party to run for prime minister, and I'm not leader of a party. Like, look at this weirdo. He was just a normal guy before. It's a fight every day because every day you find new people who don't understand, who want to judge. It's life. Not everyone understands everything. Like me, I don't understand lots of things about lots of people. You can't judge someone. No one knows what's inside someone else's head. Why they're doing that. You need to talk to this person. Well, okay. Tell me why you do this. Tell me the reason you do this. You're just a normal person? Tell me the reason. Go ahead. I'm all ears. I want to hear the reason. I want to hear it. Do you think he regrets it? Like he lies in bed at night and he's like, what have I become? How could I have done this to myself? Oh. The challenges haven't stalled his passion for body modification. He claims he's ready to take the leap with leg amputation? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? It's something really hard because I have a healthy leg and amputation is something big. He's always been passionate about... I'm just like stunned here, guys. I'm fucking stunned. He's always been passionate about mutations and transformations, even from a very young age. But it wasn't until the unrecognizable tattoo aficionado was in his 20s that he decided to pursue the changes. Like, look at this fucking mongoloid. Okay. He's the Martian Manhunter. Wow. Like, I'm just stunned to see this. Focus on the pain. The only thing that's real. How can I can't. Shit. Oh well. Still can't. Shit. Oh well. I just can't scroll up in any of these. That's unfortunate. It's the Martian meth hunter. 71-year-old man has been charged with setting a massive Yosemite Park fire that was initially blamed on climate change. Because of course. Edward Frederick Wackerman of Mariposa, California. Mariposa? Isn't that a place in Fallout? Anyway, he was busted on Friday on suspicion of arson for allegedly igniting the Oak Fire, which destroyed 127 homes, caused thousands of people to evacuate, and ravaged nearly 20,000 acres of vegetation. In July. Oh, then what are you talking about? Don't you dare ad block me! Okay. Yeah, common California L for sure. The suspect is facing charges of suspicion of aggravated arson, arson that causes great bodily injury, and arson causing damage or destruction of inhabited structures. It isn't clear how Wackerman may have started the blaze or what finally led to his arrest. He's facing several felony charges. Yep. Here he is. Here's the guy. I mean, at least this guy looks normal, right? I can forgive the arson if he looks normal. I'm joking. It's a mostly peaceful day in the forest, says Smokey Bear. Currently, the investigation is under review by our office. Due to the sensitive nature of the case and the rights of the defendant, we cannot disclose anything other than what's been released in the CAL FIRE press release. 6,000 people living in the nearby mountain communities were ordered by officials to flee their homes, while no one was killed in the ginormous inferno. Oh my god, that's a lot of land burned up. The fire did injure 3 firefighters. Who the fuck is this, this fucking asshole? Literally, okay, perks of being a girl in Twitch. The best service in promoting Twitch channels. How about you fuck off? Why would you say perks of being a girl? It sounds like a trans account, and you're not trans. I'm banning you. Get the fuck out. Let's continue on. A study says describing breastfeeding as natural is unethical because it reinforces gender roles. It is ethically ethically inappropriate for government and medical organizations to describe breastfeeding as natural because the term enforces rigid notions about gender roles, claims a new study. Coupling nature with motherhood can inadvertently support biologically deterministic arguments about the roles of men and women in the family. Listen, I have a feeling that it's probably biologically determined whether or not you can carry a child. That's not going to be a social construct. That's going to be your fucking biology. The study notes that in recent years, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the World Health Organization, and several state departments of health have all promoted breastfeeding over bottle feeding using the term natural. Referencing the natural in breastfeeding promotion may inadvertently endorse a set of values about family life and gender roles, which would be ethically inappropriate. Unless such public service announcements make transparent the values and beliefs that underlie them, they should quit describing breastfeeding as natural. The study's authors, Jessica Martucci and Anna Barnhill, clearly have in mind an alternative set of values and beliefs. It's unclear whether they're worried about how traditional female gender roles may limit women's progress in the workforce, or whether this is part of the discussion about whether conventional views about motherhood exclude transgender people. Or perhaps it's just another example of how the progressive obsession with gender and sexuality has permeated all fields of academic study. Of course, that's exactly what it is. Anyway, guys, if you call breastfeeding natural, are you a bigot? Make sure to post in the comments. The answer is yes. Yes, you are. Yes. And that's okay. Speaking of breastfeeding, woman sprays her breast milk around at a festival. You can't see any titty, but you can see the squirt right there. With lockdown restrictions easing in the UK, we can start to think properly about all the things we've missed. Like, for example, going to festivals. This video shows a woman squirting breast milk at her fellow festival goers. Oh my god. The woman is in what looks to be a black one-piece swimming costume or a leotard, along with a cap, sunglasses, and red boots. She dances around at the festival before suddenly whipping out her boob and starts spraying milk all over the place. She then carries on twerking before one festival goer approaches her and crouches near her in an attempt to catch some of the milk in her mouth. Yep, she's giving her. And this guy's like, I want some of that. Yo, breast milk is like fucking gold and she's just squirting it out like it's water? What the fuck? What is this Homelander ass bullshit, dude? What the fuck? Ugh. Jesus. This Popeyes location didn't have their item, so they threw food and vandalized the restaurant. Can I scroll, please? 2 men assaulted employees and damaged equipment when told their order could not be fulfilled. Customers allegedly vandalized a Worcester Popeyes and attacked employees this weekend after being told their order could not be completed. The 2 men reported to have been at the drive-thru window of the Park Avenue Popeyes around 4:30 p.m. when they were told an item that in their order wasn't available. In response, the police say the men threatened a worker before entering the restaurant and disrupting. Police say the pair threw food at the staff and vandalized restaurant equipment, including a TV and a register. I'll have 2 number 9s, a number 9 large, a number 6 with extra dip. The Popeyes closed down Saturday, of course, because they had to clean up, but they had the drive-thru up and running by Monday. The events took place after the men did not receive jalapenos on a chicken sandwich they ordered. No jalapenos? Get your store trashed. Local Popeyes customer John Joyce told the outlet that he was hoping to get Popeyes for his birthday when he found the restaurant was closed. Hold on. How did you get a hold of a local Popeyes customer? Like, what was the news call for that? Just, okay, if any of you know of someone who's eaten at Popeyes recently, listen, dude, we got to get someone to appear on our little shitty news article. This is always going to be like played on TV for 5 minutes. We need just some random guy who's eaten at Popeyes before, okay? A man denied his tendies. Fucking hell. Now I gotta look for supper somewhere else. Oh, poor guy. NetherRealm Studios faces massive fan backlash over Tanya's redesign in Mortal Kombat 1. Apparently, they're just making every character ugly nowadays. Yeah, there she was in 2015. There she is now. What a downgrade. Like, I know it's been 8 years, probably aged a little bit, but it's not going to be that bad, is it? In a new trailer for Mortal Kombat 1, NetherRealm Studios unveiled a handful of characters, including fan favorites Quan Chi, Ermac, Takeda, Li Mei, Tanya, and Baraka, as well as guest characters Omni-Man, Homelander, and Peacemaker. Okay. Wait, hold on. Isn't Peacemaker played by John Cena? Does that mean there's going to be like an actual Blender model of John Cena pulled from this game's PC version? Are we going to start seeing like Blender porn of an accurate, lifelike John Cena getting fucked in the ass? Is that what we're going to see? While there is excitement for the announcement, some fans of the series noticed that Tanya looks different from her latest appearance in Mortal Kombat 10, taking to social media to vent their frustration over the redesign. Yep. Why is Tanya so ugly? Why, man? Everything else looking awesome, but this got to be the worst downgrade I've ever seen. MKX went so hard. Yeah, fair enough, yeah. Tanya is my favorite MK character, but I'm honestly not feeling her new design at all. Thought y'all will learn after Mortal Kombat 10's eye thing. They took away her signature looks, the white eyes, the bob hair, and her otherworldly vibe. She looks generic now and nothing like Tanya. You can make her different, that's a whole other woman using her name. Just change her name, I'll be okay with it. Others like Darius P. compared Tanya to a presumed, albeit unconfirmed, face model Sydney Cross. They gotta redo Tanya's face in Mortal Kombat 1. Shoddy, goddamn, I hate the fucking Zoomer speak. Shoddy is way too beautiful to be looking like this in this game. Of course, lots of people, like, for example, I don't know if Black D Gamer has refollowed me on my new Twitter account. By the way, follow my new Twitter, Sleepy_Devo. Follow that shit. Here, I'll put it in the chat. Sleepy_Devo. I got banned. I came back. There it is. The death and rebirth of Super Dev. Sleepy_Devo. But yeah, everyone's saying that this is yet another push to put ugly women in games. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Oxford Court. An irate asylum seeker in the UK says that white men have small penises. Are they talking about you, Tidge? I'm joking. An asylum seeker, frustrated at the way he had been treated by the system, unleashed a barrage of racist abuse at 3 police officers and a nurse. Among Ahmed Abdallah, his foul-mouthed tirade was the claim that white men all have small penises. It's so stupid. Oh, did Tidge leave? Tidge is banned then for fucking insolence. He variously called the police officers accompanying him at the John Radcliffe Hospital white prick, cracker, white boy, and pagans. Damn, dude. Like, that's fucked. Oxford Magistrates Court heard the 37-year-old also turned his attention to a nurse at the hospital, calling her an old Asian bitch. Holy fuck, dude. Like, damn. Tidge left for Chud Logic? Really? Hold on. I'm going over to Chud Logic stream just for a second. I'm scanning. Yeah. Anti-Tidge action. When we raid, that's going to be our call sign, is anti-Tidge action. All right? Everyone copy this. Copy this phrase. Once we finish the articles, we'll raid Chud and spam that chat. Spam the chat with that, okay? Anyway. Tidge ain't loyal. You're gonna fucking show her how to be loyal. All right. Anyway, there's not much to this. He had some weed. He was an asshole. He was being deported. He's an Egyptian national. But apparently, it made headlines that he screamed about how white men all have small penises. I'm joking with Tidge. Zero fucks. It's okay. NBC is slammed for report about black people needing safe spaces to camp to avoid white trauma from white people who might have Trump flags. What the actual fuck? NBC black reporter Char Adams described in a recently revived June essay several black-led outdoor groups working to provide safe spaces for black people to enjoy outdoor activities and dispel myths that the outdoors doesn't belong to us. Oh. No, like, I do it to you, Viking, and I do it to Tidge, because I know you guys. We're just fucking around. The report focused heavily on creating racially segregated safe spaces so that black people can avoid harassment and trauma from white people who might fly Trump flags at their campsites. These groups were founded to combat racism from the Jim Crow era, barring African Americans from national parks, and also to fight current stereotypes that black people do not enjoy outdoor activities. Okay, if you're listening to me and you happen to be black, just out of curiosity, whether or not you like camping or like outdoorsy stuff, have you ever felt like you haven't been able to enjoy it? Like that you just weren't welcome at like the local campground, you know? You couldn't go on a hike. You ever feel that way? Okay. Meet the black outdoorsy groups reclaiming the joys of nature. The outdoors is racist. Oh, here's the person who wrote the article. I bet she has a white boyfriend. To be honest, I think I'd be her white boyfriend. I'd get her flying a Confederate flag after a few nights in the sack. Okay, let's see. NBC News is now Teen Vogue, which became the New Republic. They're now a parody, not a news organization. Kentucky State University political science professor Wilfred Rayleigh even went as far to say as the article was an unbearable example of upper-class left-wing neuroticism and fake race and gender grievance from the media. It brings us to headlines like, "It's summer. Is it all right to leave the house? Is it all right or alt-right to leave the house?" Dun dun dun. Yep. Does a week go by without an article from a once reputable news organization suggesting minorities live in an endless M. Night Shyamalan movie where her entire lives are spent hiding? Like, fucking wild, man. Black people are not so weak and oppressed that they can't hike, fish, hunt, picnic, swim without feeling unsafe. Black people don't need safe spaces to enjoy the outdoors. Obviously, right? Like, it's so stupid. It's so like, God, I feel like my brain's leaking out of my ears. Atlanta shooting suspect Dion Patterson has been charged with murder and 4 counts of aggravated assault. He opened fire in the waiting room of a medical facility. Amy St. Pierre, 39, died. R.I.P. The man accused of opening fire in an Atlanta medical facility was charged with murder and 4 counts of aggravated assault, jail records show on Thursday. Dion Dwayne Patterson, 24 years old, is accused of shooting 5 women before he evaded police during an 8-hour-long manhunt. He did not appear in court as scheduled Thursday, waiving his right to see a judge within 24 hours of his arrest. His next scheduled court date was not immediately set. Amy St. Pierre, 39 years old, an employee of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, was killed with a semi-automatic handgun, Atlanta police officer wrote in an affidavit. The CDC is deeply saddened by the unexpected loss of a colleague killed yesterday in the Midtown Atlanta shooting. Our hearts are with their family, friends, yep, etc. Okay. Court papers identified the 4 men who were wounded as Lisa Glynn, Georgette Whitlow, Jasmine Daniel, and Alicia Hollinger, ages 25 to 71. Okay. Glynn and Daniel were shot in the abdomen, Whitlow in the arm, and Hollinger in the face, according to the arrest affidavit. 3 of the wounded remain in intensive care at the Grady Memorial Hospital. Yep. You can't do everything during the first operation, yep. Lots of people just trying to hold it together. Damn, dude. Yeah. There he is. Fuck. Chinese 3D not safe for work artist has been arrested for selling Genshin Impact porn videos. What the fuck? China, let us have our porn. Chinese police reported arresting a 3D artist for creating and distributing Genshin Impact adult content on foreign websites. Huang, known as Shirakami-san on Twitter, has 550,000 followers and reportedly made over $250,000 a month on Patreon. Holy fuck. He was detained on July 26th for investigation. They have photos from his studio where he's making 3D animations, 3D hentai animations with characters from games like Nier Automata and Final Fantasy VII. After his interrogation, he confessed to illegally gaining profits by uploading pornographic animations to foreign websites. Here's his statement. His statement per the police: "I realized my mistake. I have worked hard to learn and be positive since I was a child. I thought that no one would know about posting videos in foreign platforms. If I knew today, I would not do it no matter how much money was given. I guarantee that I will not do anything illegal or criminal in the future, and I will actively cooperate with the investigation by the public security organs." Oh. Yep. Obviously, China was like, listen, if you don't say this publicly, we're just going to rape you forever. Struggle session, full on. So, no more Genshin Impact porn. Twitter torches male lawmakers for wearing pink heels to raise awareness for violence against women. What the fuck? Twitter users had a field day lambasting male Canadian lawmakers, fuck Canada, dude, who paraded around a room wearing pink high heel shoes. Oh my god. In order to encourage men and boys to help combat violence against women. Members of Canada's Parliament donned the heels as part of the Hope and High Heels event sponsored by Halton Women's Place, a women's shelter in Ontario, to bring awareness to the violence targeting women. Violence against women is still prevalent in our society. Well, only in certain immigrant communities. Hope in Heels is an event that spreads awareness on violence against women while encouraging men and boys to be part of the solution. We wore their signature pink heels. And here they are. Check it out, guys. They're all wearing the heels. Wow. Can't say I'd do this, but I guess this is just how it is. I guess I just don't understand Canadian politics like I thought I did. Educating men and boys is part of the solution, and it's all of our responsibilities to end gender-based violence. But of course, everyone just starts making fun of it because it's fucking ridiculous. It's obviously ridiculous. Male politicians parading around in signature pink high heels to be part of the violence against women solution. I'm so embarrassed for you. This actually made my scalp tingle. Yep. Is this real life? Yes, it is. They may be male, but they are not men. Oh, this guy's going full, like, pro-trans on this. He gets it. He knows why trans women are actually women. Oh my god. Of course, Jack Posobiec says Canada's not a real country. Yep. I'm used to that. But yeah. It's, like, it's cringy. I wish it didn't happen, but people saying, like, this is the end of the West. It's all terrible. It's like, oh, calm down a bit. It's just some weird shit. It's just some fucking weird shit, dude. All right. I'm not doing the last two because I need to be done at 2 o'clock today. Part of the reason why I got to be done at 2 o'clock today is that a massive thunderstorm is rolling in at 2 o'clock today, and I still have laundry on the line. So I got to go and take the laundry out before it gets all rained on. So I'll save the last two articles for next week. Consider supporting the channel. Here's the P.O. box. Get yourself, you put all your junk in a box, mail it to me. I'll open it up on the channel. If you want to get into the D Club, the Discord, you got $5 recurring monthly tip. Send it over through Patreon, Subscribestar, the memberships button on YouTube, or the sub button on Twitch. If you're on Twitch and you have Amazon Prime, you can send over the sub for free. You get one free one per Amazon Prime account. Also, please consider following me on my new Twitter account, sleepy_devo. Also on my Kick account, kick.com/shortfatotaku. And of course on Twitch as well. I'm going to be streaming this stuff on multiple platforms from here on out, I think. So we're going to keep doing this multi-platform shit because I don't give a fuck about Twitch's rules. Let's check out. Hold on. We're going to check out the Super Chats. I have a dryer, but I like hanging laundry on the line. It feels nice. The laundry feels nicer. You know, it's fresher. It smells fresher. You know, the scent of the outdoors is really nice. You know what I mean? I like laundry on the line. I won't give it up. Okay. Let's do the last super chats before we get out of here. €2 from Tanushi. Heista Pasca or smell shit is a Finnish insult. All right. Thanks, man. Solon the Lich. 20 ARSs. Thank you. Imagine the smell of Canadians drinking coffee. God damn it. Jin Django, how's it going? Hey, Jin Django, I sent you another DM for the next job. Make sure to check it, okay? Devflation? What the fuck, C. Thomas? Get out of here. Tricky Mars, get back to the articles. I finished them. Thank you. Cryptic, $5. Is Dev gay for Biden confirmed? No, I don't really care. Oh, happy birthday, Jin Django. Happy birthday. I don't really care about Biden either way. Willizen, $5. What I meant was that the market won't see a correction without hyperinflation kicking off. We continue to get the policy of the current administration. I don't agree, to be honest. Like, I think Biden's administration has stopped printing money. Like, that's done with now. COVID's over. No more need for stimulus. Like, I think we're good. I think things will settle down at this point. Willizen, $2. Closing asylums is a mistake. Lock up. Yeah, we need to bring the asylums back, dude. So much shit. Like, so much shit has gone wrong since then. Was it Archer's birthday today? That's cool. I'll message Arch right now. Happy birthday. Apparently it is. Okay. Thomas, $2. Who employs this guy? How can he afford it? Oh, the tattoo guy? I think he just makes money being a tattoo guy now. Willowson, $5. Reminds me of the video of Dutch farmers finding sticks with magnifying glasses in their fields. Climate change using technology now. Fuck. Who knows, man? Who knows? How do you know that that wasn't planted by the feds? Who? Okay. I'm starting to fucking lose it. Holtzaner, $10. Thank you. Hey, Dev, did you see the legislation proposed that would make misgendering someone a hate crime with a fine of $25,000 in Canada? Yes, and that's bullshit. If Canada passes that, it will actually be way too fucking far. All right? Way too fucking far. Sig Earth for $10. I've got an RX 6800 XT. Is it even worth upgrading to a current gen video card? The gap between 4000 series cards and 3000 series cards is very small right now. So pick up a used 3000, not like the bleeding edge 4000. If you're talking about NVIDIA, anyway. And Antelope, $2. Skinwalkers don't like it if I leave my house. Okay, dude. Tricky Mario, $8. Thank you. NBC as a proud racist. Proud as a peacock. Oh, it's a joke on the NPCs. Okay. Man, I don't watch NBC. I don't fucking know, dude. Jordan Rogers, $5. Can we get a call-in stream if we get you to 75 subs? What's Kick's stance on Game Awards? I'm not sure exactly. But a call-in... I should do more call-in streams, to be honest. Like, for subs and stuff. I should do more call-in streams. The rain's starting. See Thomas, $2. Educate men and boys. Okay, thank you very much for all the super chats. Thank you. Thank you very much. We're going to go raid. We're going to go raid Chud Logic. Listen. Get your coffees. Get your fucking coffees out. Put 3 coffees. Anti-Tidge action. 3 coffees. Oh, wait. Make sure to ping Tidge, too. Okay? Here's what we're going to be copying. Right here. Do this. Copy and paste that. We're going to be going over to Chud Logic. No, don't leave yet. We're raiding Chud. At least spam his chat with that before we go, okay? Okay. I gotta go. I gotta go get the laundry off the line. Thanks for being here, guys. Oh! Extra thing. I'm doing a bonus stream tonight with Naomi. So be back on the channel. I'll be back tonight, okay? I love you guys. Good night.